Good morning, South Africa and Africa, everybody on the African continent. You are watching Morning Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network, and we're about to give... And we bring you all the latest news and headlines. The name is MBELE. And this is all that we have for you for this 1 hour rundown of a show. And especially later on, we have an amazing special feature guest that he has been trending across every social media platforms. And we get to engage with him, talk to him about what has he been working on. But the name is still on those cards that we can't let you know at this point. But engage with us across every social media platforms. Guess who do we have? Go on our social media platforms, find the poster that we released and tell us who do we have today right here on Morning Express. But I'll ask you to take a look at your headlines. Mmusi Maimane launches one South Africa's economic recovery plan. Mr. Fix vows to get PRASA on track once again. And Free State ANC members out in full swing to support Ace Magashule. And in studio today, we are joined by that anonymous guest at this point, because we want you to guess on social media, and we are Ghana_TV on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook, we are Galaxy Universal Network. And as always, we're going to be talking to him, and he might have a performance for us later on the show. And we also featuring a teacher on the show, because it is still Teachers Month, as the Minister of Basic Education, Panyaza Lusufi, said that we should continuously support and celebrate our teachers for the amazing work they do in South Africa. By taking a look at your first story. One South Africa movement leader, Mmusi Maimane, is launching his post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan on Thursday morning. Maimane said the plan contains specific interventions. The former DA leader also said that the COVID-19 pandemic has worsened an already dire economy.
I hold the view that we must establish specialized corruption courts to investigate and prosecute both public and private sector corruption. It cannot be just business as usual. We need to implement continuous and permanent forensic audits of all politicians and government officials. I urge that anyone found of corruption, we must institute an immediate 15-year prison sentence if they are convicted of corruption. And furthermore, we must increase transparency in the tender process by introducing a universal online accessible system for all of us. Government has massive data that government can make that data available so that all citizens know how they can tender and compete. If we eradicate the question of corruption that has besieged all layers and spheres of government, we can then begin to create the economic resources that we need to fund economic growth. You can have a plan on infrastructure, you can have a plan on any other thing. Without the appropriate funding mechanism, those plans just become a pipe dream. So we have to stop the leaking bucket that is corruption, build an institutional capacity that polices corruption, but ultimately seals that bucket so that every resource that South Africa has is used for economic activity. So we really believe we have to immediately institute a debt to GDP cap on spending. This way, we can guide the Minister of Finance to ensure that we never exceed that cap. Fellow South Africans, there can be no debate. Us holding on to a state-owned airline, especially in these economic times, isn't going to help South Africa. We need to sell SAA. We need to ensure that in the region, we integrate independent power producers. We must speed that up so that ultimately we can stabilize the energy grid and ensure that our economy runs on the back of a stable energy. We regionalize the energy sector, we incentivize biogas, we bring on wind and solar projects. This has to be regionalized across the multiple countries so that we can ensure that not only do you have a broader consumer base, but you can maximize the natural resources of countries around us, such as Mozambique, Malawi, etc.
And the former DA leader, Mmusi Maimane, says that that the South African economy has contracted by 51% in the second quarter of 2020, with nearly all industries showing drops in the output. Maimane said the plan will require a dire plan that combines everything with purpose.
We need to revitalize the SADC region by building a trade and development relation similar to that of the Asian Development Partnership model. On job creation, we hold the absolute view that we must create a Jobs and Justice Fund. In some ways, this must replace the BEE and distribute funds from businesses to real empowerment initiatives such as bursaries, mentorship programs, and apprenticeship. We took a stance even on the COVID funding. We need to now set up a fund that ensures that actually we become a startup nation, a nation where centers such as this one don't have businesses shutting down, but businesses that work. We must incentivize private sector funding for previously disadvantaged schools via tax rebates, the release of the high demand of spectrum to lower data costs and increase access to online resources for young people. And we need to implement ongoing training and examining of teachers via training colleges. Ultimately, you can all have a dream for what kind of economic model you want. If you do not have a state that is agile, that is competent, that is future-orientated, you cannot implement anything. So, in that view, we hold the view that the number of government departments and ministries must be brought down to 10 super ministries. We must introduce an incentives-based salary scale for all public sector employees to reward actually the top performers. Because if you want the best must be well rewarded, and when they do great things, they must be rewarded likewise. We must launch a national recruitment drive to attract the best talent and skills for public service. And then finally, this is also a requirement for political reform, that we introduce that bill to ensure that people are directly elected. This way, Parliament can be filled with men and women who are the best in the country, not people who survive on political patronage. So, fellow South Africans, in the midst of uncertainty, what you do not need is another elaborate plan, like the National Development Plan or something like that. What you do not need is a massive document. We need to demonstrate to citizens that we are making policy choices, we bring interventions in the short term that can ensure that whether you and I, we build a startup nation. That's what this country must.
Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula said that the ministry will soon introduce a PRASA board as part of many interventions made to fix the agency. Mbalula, who characterized PRASA as a broken place, said that its department has put in interventions that have been put in place to sharpen by due regard of the law.
These trains have been running in this mess. They've been running. They've been running. Today we fix the lines and everything which have been stolen, copper cables, and then the train moves. And then you think that everything is normal. Now with the total stoppage, the truth came out. The truth came out. It's not new. And that is what we're dealing with. And what are we doing? Is to recapture the network, refurbish the lines. We are running a multi-billion rand plant opened by Minister Nzimande and the President. It's operational in MBELE. And you will see the new blue trains. Part of those trains are running here at Pienaarsport, and some are in the Cape and so on. So we're producing these trains. The agreement is that this operation will go for 30 years. Brilliant operation, creating in the projection about 65,000 jobs in this period of about 30 years will be young people, engineers, artisans. We're no longer bringing people from Philippines to run this setup here. Of course, the partnership is with the French Alstom company, But the agreement is that you leave the skill here. You're not going away with it. And there's been arguments about the whole empowerment model in that space. I'm attending to that. But I'm happy with Kibena. That is part of what the old rolling stock will phase out, and then we'll have this over a period of time. And then the pairways and everything will be upgraded. The stations will be upgraded. It's not only running beer. People were afraid to touch anything because of corruption. Civil servants, workers who are working at PRASA, top executives, depleted completely. And then,
according to the minister, the most important thing at PRASA now is security, adding that they have a plan in action that they are insourcing security with an annual investment of approximately 700 million rand.
Of two main corridors, Mabopane and as well as Cape Town. So we are on track. We've been working on relocating people in Cape Town with human settlement and DPW. We've been working around the clock, Cape Metro. There's the issues of land. People just rock up and build shacks. Shacks on top of the railway line in Cape Town. So we're hard at work with that, and there's going to be a big announcement on the relocation of people. It's a project that we're supposed to finish by September 24. It has now been pushed back to February. So in the next 2 weeks, land that is identified will announce, and people will be relocated there, and we've got to safeguard. That corridor alone, Central Line in Cape Town, caters for not less than 20,000 people per day to and from Cape Town for work. So those people don't have transportation. We have introduced a hybrid model to get buses to transport people and all of that. It looks like we're finalized in Mabopane. We're still working on Cape Town. We're looking at finalizing the Cape Town model around November. So we've been working flat out. The management at PRASA has been working flat out to get these things moving. A lot of money is going to be spent now on capital projects, and that is why we can't afford money being taken away to SAA or anywhere else. This money must be spent here. Tito Mboweni want us to spend this money next year and the other year and the other year. The mandate of the ruling party is not to save, is to run PRASA efficiently. I know there are policy options that people want to look at. They want us to look at. We will have to look at the issue of devolution. You know that in places like UK, and you look at the United States and states in America. I'm talking about states that run efficient transport systems.
And as we move along to the next story, some ANC members from the Free State gathered outside Lituli House in support of the party's SG, Ace Magashule. This follows report earlier this week that an arrest warrant had been issued for Magashule, something that the Hawks have denied. Magashule's supporters say that an alleged arrest warrant against him is aimed at settling political scores. ANC spokesperson Bule Mabe has dismissed the allegations and called on members to use party structures to voice grievances.
We have been speaking about this, and this is actually being heightened now. And we are actually once more saying to people, please don't use state organs against the leadership of the ANC.
Would this be President Cyril Ramaphosa or Pravin Gordhan?
All right. I don't know who's using this. We are just warning people that don't use state organs to fight political battles.
And still taking a look at our stories. Moving on to the next one. MEC of Education, Gauteng, Panyaza Lisufi, collaboration with the law enforcement agencies, visited Wisdom English Private School in Ivory Park and True Grace Christian School in Iboni Park, Johannesburg, the east of Johannesburg rather. According to the Department of Education, the purpose of the visit was to verify allegations that the mentioned schools operate legally within South Africa. The MEC found that indeed both schools have declared illegal because they are not registered with the Gauteng Basic Education Department. And it was also discovered that Wisdom English Private School was operating on 4 different locations in Ivory Park. The department also uncovered that some educators failed to produce legal identification documents and a SACA and compliance document with the requirement of an educators to teach learners in all our schools.
To declare a school an illegal school, it means that it's not properly registered. And if it's not properly registered, it means it's not met 4 critical conditions. The first one, obviously, is to submit the profile of their curriculum, that is to know what kind of education they want to offer, whether it's in line with what you are offering as public education. Secondly, is the qualifications of their educators. Thirdly, the environment in which they operate. Fourthly, which is very important, is the profile of the learners, so that we have an understanding of the profile of the learners. But if you look at the infrastructure of the school, you can see that you can't allow education to take place there, because within education, you need to allow physical training. You also need to allow children to play. But if you operate in an environment that is not regulated, where you're occupying buildings that you don't have an occupation certificate, we have no choice but to shut down the schools. And that's the reason why we visited the 3 schools we visited today. And I'm disappointed, I must be honest. I don't think our officials are also immune from taking some form of responsibility, because some of the schools have been operating for more than 5 years, and you can't allow that to happen.
These schools end at grade 10. After grade 10, they wash their hands. The reason they end at grade 10, because they're not grade 12, you need to have proper documents. So they take your children until grade 10 and hand them over to nowhere, to no one. And what it means, these children will roam around the streets undocumented. And that's bad. So we need to be firm. And I really believe that the time of being nice and having kids' laughs are over. If the police and our officials can't act, I'll be deeply, deeply disappointed. And we are not harsh. We gave them an opportunity of a year. Improve your documents, improve your facilities. They've not done that. So you can't even extend it beyond here. So we just have to be decisive and ensure that we don't have this kind of situations.
And the MEC of Education says that he's given all people 48 hours to do the right thing and make sure that all documents are put in place. And however, he's not happy with how he found both of the places within the schools. Desktops are not put in place, and also finding teachers not in the correct stipulated positions where they are teaching learners, and the intervention for matriculants still continues, not really seeing what is happening within the school premises. But Lisufi says that within the 48 hours, some dire consequences have to happen, and necessary engagements will have to be facilitated with all affected parents to guide on with the intervention of all learners within the schooling premises.
We came alone as a department and advised parents to remove their children and bring them to the public education system. But because the academic program is too heavy, some of them reverted back to this family. And they will be open again. So we then ask them within a limited period to rectify their documents, ensure that we've got teachers that are qualified and are registered with the South African Council of Educators, because You can't operate as a teacher in this country if you're not registered with SAFE. Ensure that the municipality gives you proper documents so that you can operate a school. Because you can't just operate a school in any place that cannot be accounted. Ensure that we follow our curriculum and all those things. Unfortunately, the situation is worse than what we found. So we're giving them 48 hours so that we can take a decision whether to shut down the school. But we can't have this kind of an environment saying it's a school. I mean, it creates problems, and that's the reason why we're here. But this time we've brought everyone. We've brought the municipality, we've brought the police, we've also brought our officials.
And taking a look at our next story. President Cyril Ramaphosa congratulated Dr. Ngozi Okonja for the Federal Republic of Nigeria on her advancement to the third and final stage of the selection process for the position of Director General of the World Trade Organization. And the World Trade Organization members narrowed the field of candidates to the next Director General as General Counsel Chair David Walker of New Zealand and his co-facilitators in the selection process disclosed today on the 8th of October that two candidates advancing to the third and final world are really consultations of which determine the success of Roberto Argavanzo.
Institution that can promote a rules-based system.
Both received backing from the 27 countries of the European Union this week in the second round of selection. That saw Kenyan Sports Minister Amina Mohammed, Saudi Royal Court Advisor Mohammed Al-Tuwaijiri, and former UK International Trade Minister Liam Fox eliminated from the running. The reduction of the field from 5 to 2 means that the 164-member trade body will be led by a woman for the first time. The WTO is looking for a new Director General to replace Brazilian Roberto Azevedo, who stepped down a year earlier than expected at the end of August. It aims to find a successor by early November.
President Donald Trump added more turbulence on Thursday to the United States presidency race by refusing to participate on the 15th of October, the event guarded against COVID-19, prompting Biden's book televised, and where he's saying that he had been hospitalized for a few days due to the COVID-19 gloss from the format change announced by nepotism and charging debates, and expressed concern that he would be cut off, and all things that have been happening within the country. And Donald Trump further on went to say that within the COVID-19 pandemic that he is actually looking at finding the cure, and that all people that are to his age should actually make sure that they're getting the cure that he supposedly has found that has helped him to go past what is a dire coronavirus. And let's take a video and listen at the video that he posted from the White House. It is unstated whether when the video was posted or captured, but it was up on his Twitter feed last night.
So, to my favorite people in the world, the seniors. I'm a senior. I know you don't know that. Nobody knows that. Maybe you don't have to tell them, but I'm a senior. We are making tremendous progress with this horrible disease that was sent over by China. China will pay a big price for what they did to the world and to us. But we have medicines right now, and I call them a cure. I went into the hospital a week ago. I was very sick. And I took this medicine, and it was incredible. It was incredible. I could have walked out the following day, sooner. It was incredible the impact it had. And we're going to make that and others that are similar to it, almost identical, we're going to make them available immediately. We have an emergency use authorization that I want to get signed immediately. The FDA has moved at a level that they've never moved before. Things that would take 2, 3, 4 years are taking a matter of weeks or even sooner than that. And that's because of me. We're taking care of our seniors. You're not vulnerable, but they like to say the vulnerable, but you're the least vulnerable. But for this one thing, you are vulnerable, and so am I. But I want you to get the same care that I got. I got incredible care at Walter Reed, incredible doctors, and this medicine in particular, one medicine was unbelievable. You're going to get the same medicine, you're going to get it free, no charge. And we're going to get it to you soon. And the nice part is it's made by a number of companies. It's totally safe, but it's powerful against this disease. So we're going to get it out to you. We're going to take care of our seniors, all free. And I just want to thank you. And what we've gone through as a country is a horrible thing. My opponent, as you know, he talks, but he never did anything in 47 years. I did more in 47 months than he did in 47 years. He just talks. It's the same old thing. If it were up to him, you wouldn't have this, you wouldn't have anywhere near it for years. They wouldn't even be talking about anything.
And those are all the news and headlines that we brought for you right here on the top of the hour on Morning Express. And after this quick commercial break, we take a look at Barcelona unveiling the full squad, and it's going to be an amazing one because sporting headlines after this 10 o'clock news bulletin. And it is Barcelona. That is how it gets to be pronounced right in South Africa, because apparently it's not just an English word, it's an American word all the way from different other countries. So it is Barcelona. So let's take this quick commercial ad break. We'll be back after this with all the sporting headlines and news.
Make massive moves.
The space race has already started. Russia had got the first object into space.
The coast is as wild today as it was when Europeans settled the continent.
Enormous beasts with enormous thirst. The teams are primed and ready.
They got the first animal into space, and they got the first person.
Time to see what the boys can do.
Make massive moves with Starsat. Make massive moves.
Isn't that your daughter's bib?
But the truth is, I feel like Arabella's always with me.
Don't you ever forget this man's face. He killed your brother.
Don't shoot! Please don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Make massive moves with Starsat. Make massive moves.
I feel confident. I feel like I can take on the world.
So you're telling a story through your clothes.
Such a professional, you wouldn't even know.
Criticism is one of my biggest motivations.
Darling, you want to be a model?
Like, oh my God.
I'm glistening.
The fashion industry needs people with beautiful faces.
I would pay thousands of dollars for that look.
Make massive moves with Starsat.
I want you to eat healthy food because it's delicious.
Make massive moves.
Would you like another one?
I love it.
I love this soup. This is amazing. The grits are so creamy. Oh.
I take pride in my grits.
So flavorful.
I think that looks wonderful.
Yeah.
It's so incredible.
Make massive moves with Starsat. Make massive moves.
Wow.
Let's go. Come on, we can be back by morning.
Woogie!
Who are you?
I'm the boss.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Totally. Yeehaw.
Very funny.
Make massive moves with Starsat. Make massive moves.
You're the best fighter in China. Give me the Emperor's sword, and I'll spare your life.
Shisha sector's gone too far.
Make massive moves with Starsat. Make massive moves.
How can you say that?
That is what it is.
Your mother eloped with someone else.
I just think this is such a genius idea. I think it's amazing.
I can be happy.
It's inside you. It's inside of all of us.
It's about cooking smart that are nutritious and delicious.
President Trump acknowledging the coronavirus death toll could be significantly higher.
We don't want to do this.
There is nothing you can take.
Surviving roommates scared.
The heavyweights arrive.
Inside finds Pachulia, blocked by Jane.
This is the will of God.
Make massive moves with Starsat.
And welcome back from the ad break. You're still watching Morning Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network, and we brought you the first news bulletin earlier on, and we spoke about all things happening in South Africa and throughout the world, and also mentioning Donald Trump about the coronavirus cure that supposedly worked for him. Also, Ace Magashule as part of our news bulletin, where he's actually taking supporters from the ANC, making sure that they rally on and swing to everything that is happening within his career at this point, making sure that the PPE scandals, his family being implicated, his two sons also part of that, and President Cyril Ramaphosa congratulating one of our African people within this continent of Africa. As we take a look at CIT, what has been happening with the cash in transit heist, and it has bombed an entire truck carrying loads of money, and civilians throughout the video are seen trying to make sure that they are getting a few hundred bills on the floor, but unfortunately they could not. But let us take a look at what transpired on the day yesterday in Rustenburg.
It's the first time I see this. Hey, me as well. It's the first time I see this. Wow. What? This guy has ammunition.
As we take a look at your sporting headlines, Barcelona unveils the full squad of what has been happening within their side of the country. There have been some huge changes to the FC Barcelona between the end of last season and the beginning of the present one. 5 new signings, 3 new players for Barcelona and 2 back from loan, 6 sales, 2 players leaving on loan, and a new manager to boot. I mean, this is a crazy story that we're looking at, and only if we had a sporting person to give us all insight on what we can expect with Barcelona. But that's 20 changes in total, and Upshot in its 24-man squad. 4 players more than in one of the ended in the 2019-2020 season. Barcelona have 5 new players, although a lot of work needs to procure them was already done the season before. And the official announced that they way back in September 2019, and Matthias, and on the January 31st following the winter transfer window season. And let's take a look at the new signings in Barcelona. And that was a beautiful one where we get to see that Messi is still part of the squad, and it was quite a big one where he had to bid farewell to the player that he played with so well within the club, but he's still there, and we hope that we still get to see him marvel and do the greatest things. But an interesting fact that apparently Messi is one of the few people that have made over 1 billion rand over playing just soccer a year. So those are facts that we should always look at and say that careers do exist within the sporting fraternity. But as we take a look at our next story, 13 people, including 7 men, assassinated with Wolverine Watchmen, a militant group, have been arrested for allegedly plots to take the governor hostage and to attack the state capitol building. Prosecutor, and this was said last Wednesday, and the group are aimed to kidnap the directorate and the Republican President Donald Trump in the ahead of the November 3rd presidential election, according to a criminal complaint filed in Manchester federal court. And so we're still taking a look at this story, and that it continues to say that at one point the alleged plot is discussed recruiting a force of 200 and people to storm the state capital of Lausanne and to take hostage, but later abandoned the plan for favor of scheme kidnapping. And it's a big story that is happening, and he is right there in court. They're showing us visuals on what is really happening throughout the world. But let's take a look at the 13 men and 7 people that have been arrested. Let us take a look at this.
Last night, the FBI and Michigan State Police arrested 6 individuals charged in a federal complaint with conspiring to kidnap the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. According to the complaint, unsealed this morning, Adam Fox, Barry Croft, Ty Garbin, Caleb Franks, Daniel Harris, and Brandon Caserta conspired to kidnap the governor from her vacation home in the Western District of Michigan before the November election. Under federal law, each of these individuals faces a term of any number of years up to life in prison if convicted. Fox, Garbin, Franks, Harris, and Caserta are residents of Michigan. Croft is a resident of Delaware. The alleged conspirators used operational security measures, including communicating by encrypted messaging platforms, and used code words and phrases in an attempt to avoid detection by law enforcement. Among other activities, members of this conspiracy on 2 occasions conducted coordinated surveillance on the governor's vacation home. Fox and Croft, in particular, according to the complaint, discussed detonating explosive devices to divert police from the area of the home. And Fox even inspected the underside of a Michigan highway bridge for places to seat an explosive. The complaint further alleges that Fox purchased a taser for use in the kidnapping and that the group successfully detonated an improvised explosive device wrapped with shrapnel to test its anti-personnel capabilities. The FBI and state police executed arrests of several of the conspirators when they were meeting on the east side of the state to pool funds for explosives and exchange tactical gear.
On account of the state, we have additional charges, so I'd like to announce the following preliminary charges pursuant to the Michigan Anti-Terrorism Act against 7 individuals, all of whom are now in custody, linked to the militia group Wolverine Watchmen and associates of Wolverine Watchmen. The individuals in custody are suspected to have attempted to identify the home addresses of law enforcement officers in order to target them, made threats of violence intended to instigate a civil war, and engaged in planning and training for an operation to attack the Capitol building of Michigan and to kidnap government officials, including the governor of Michigan. Now, it's important to note that these charges are subject to change after a complete review of the evidence obtained last night and may differ from those charged at the federal
And
level.
that was all that we had for you within our sporting headlines and also all our breaking stories of this hour. But as always, we promised to bring you an amazing featured guest, and that moment has arrived. I don't know if I should be smiling. Should I say my yoki? Should I say that we are going to an ad break? Or I don't know what's going to happen. But today, right here in studio, I'm joined by the multi-talented musician. He can play the guitar, he can sing, and we also his career breakout when he auditioned for one of the biggest competitions in South Africa, and his song took over the judges and it took over your hearts, and you've been singing it from day one, from the first audition. And I'm joined in studio by VHUDIE, Mr. My Yoki. How do you do?
I'm good. And you?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you great?
Yeah, I am.
Are you good? We're going to get into this conversation. I'm really excited. But hey, allow us, South Africa, to take this quick commercial ad break. As you've seen who we have for you guys today, right here in studio. And he might just later on tease you guys with a bit of music. See you guys after this.
Make massive moves.
So from the theater stage to the kitchen.
I'm anxiously awaiting to see Sanaya.
What else is this if not love?
Make massive moves with Starside.
Welcome back from the ad break. As I told you before we went to this quick commercial ad break, that I'm joined by the superstar, the multi-talented, award-winning already. I think that's how I should introduce you, because this song is about to win amazing awards. You're going to be at the Summers, the Mamas, the Metro Films. We are calling it upon the universe that you deserve, you're deserving. Yeah. And I'm joined by VHUDIE, Mr. My Yoki. How do you do?
I'm good.
I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
Where do we start with you? Where do we always start at the audition, or do you start before the audition? Take me through the process leading to the audition.
The process through the audition, I started auditioning at Pretoria.
Okay.
I went there and they chose me, but then I decided not to give up.
Okay.
I went to Johannesburg.
Wait. So you went to Pretoria,
yes,
and they said no?
Yeah, because I didn't have my guitar on my side.
Okay.
I forgot my guitar. I thought maybe they'll give me the guitar.
And then you said, I'm going to Johannesburg.
Yes.
Then when Johannesburg hit, then how do you then decide that I'm going to sing my own original song?
Before deciding, everybody was telling me that this song is nice. Even my brother told me to go and do something about the song.
Yeah.
So myself, I decided to go and sing the song on Idols, because I think Idols, it's
a big platform.
Yeah, so.
And then from there on, and then there you are singing, when you are watching it, obviously, because you've now already recorded. Here you are at home and you're seeing my Yoki trending on social media. How was that reaction?
I was so surprised.
Yeah?
I was shocked. Even my phone, I don't know where people got my numbers. I don't know where.
No.
They were calling. They were sending
noise.
My phone even freezed.
No, you lying. So just because of how your audition went and the song is amazing, and I'm sure people at home want to know, have you been in contact with Trezor? We saw that Questa on social media also came out saying that you guys are going to have a remix. Take me through those collaborations in the near future.
About Trezor, yes, I've been in contact with him. And this thing,
Questa.
Davido and
Davido too.
And Black Coffee.
Yes?
It was fake.
It was fake. So Davido and Black Coffee was fake.
It was fake.
But how? But I get
people.
Even if it's fake, I'm sure they must be watching, saying that you have an amazing song and everybody's singing to it. And I think it's going to go throughout everywhere in the country at this point. But is Questa also part of the collaboration list?
Yeah, because now we're still organizing. Actually, he's still finishing up some
of the work that he's been doing.
Done, then, yeah, we're on.
So you're going to perform for us. I mean, I'm really, really, really excited, and I want to figure out, as a little child, the dream of music. Has it always been music, or was it something that you developed and you got to love?
Yeah, music has been like, I started singing while I was in grade 6.
Oh, wow.
At church and also at school. I started singing there at the assembly during in the morning. So.
Oh, in the morning prayer, you're that one leading us and doing the things. But take me through, because your family too is also, you are born and bred from the church. You also have a mother that sings, your baby sister sings. Yeah. So take me through that. How's it growing up in a family that is also musically gifted?
It's nice, eh? Because they even support me. They know that I have to go to school, but as they can see that I'm talented, they still have to support. Yeah, they're always with me.
Oh wow! And then your mom's also trying to do the things within the music industry. Have you been supporting her too, so that she also gets? She has probably her own single too that is as big as my Yoki Yoki.
Yeah, she was saying that she has to release a song. She's also talented also, and she's saying that I took it from her. So
no way! But how did the song My Yoki Yoki come about?
I was writing the song. I was trying to impress someone, my crush. Yeah.
Oh wow! You were writing for a crush.
Yes. Yeah.
And then where is that crush now? So that okay, cool. And then the crush does not. But did they receive the song? Do they know that the inspiration behind the song? Does the crush know that the song was actually aimed at them?
After writing the song and finishing the song, I sent the song to her. Okay. And she was so excited, but then
I don't believe you, but we'll take it. But I think with everything that's happening within your career, we are broadcasting in 40 plus countries in Africa. Tell us your dream. Tell us what you want, Kachivenda, obviously, so that we all get to understand the depth of your core. What is it that you want with your music, your career? What do you want people to receive from you within the next 40, 100 years of your entertainment career and within music?
First of all, I would like my music to represent Venda. I would like people to learn Venda, because most of the people, they don't really understand Venda, and they so I would like my music to represent Venda in a nice way. And the next thing, I would like to see myself after 10 years. I would like to see myself having my own company.
Oh wow!
As a record label, which I will be able to help some other upcoming artists, because ever since the auditions, people are texting me, hey, please help me with this. And I don't know how.
Because you are also starting out within the industry.
So if I can just find myself having my own things, which I can be able to help others. So I think.
Interesting. But hey, take me through what are the plans for festive season do you have any plans post-COVID-19, after COVID-19? What are the plans for you?
For now, we are on a project here, Yoki Yoki music video. Okay. Then after that, the remix with Questa is coming, and the other singles are coming. After those singles, the album is coming.
Oh well, where can people get a hold of you? Obviously, you're a big name now. People can just say my Yoki Yoki and they find you across every social media platforms. But from the horse's mouth, from you, where can people get a hold of you? Where can they get a hold of the single at this point, my Yoki Yoki?
You can get the song on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, and Google Play, and all other digital platforms.
Yes! I mean, that is amazing, guys. Everywhere you can get a hold of his music. And so tell me, Uguti, on social media, your Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, if you do have, where can people find you?
On Instagram and Twitter, you can find me at VHUDIE Official. And also on YouTube, you can go there and subscribe.
Guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because great music is upon us. But I don't know. Let me ask this cameraman quickly. Do we have a performance for you now or later on? Do you want it now? Do South Africans want it now? Or does Africa want it now? Well, we have it right now, right here with all of us here in studio. Please do take it away and give us all the soothing sounds of my Yoki Yoki.
All right, no problem. Udatsula aundame chipinga chote divona eoni masia napsi udatura aundame chipinga chote divona eoni ucheza changa my yoki 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 spana no sa yakutanda ndida mufunda misi yote hote hote dida imana ye dida mtoko meta misi yote hote hote dida imana ye achitakara dida takara na ye achila itorira na ye my yoki 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 sana no sa gia gutanda I promise not to hurt you.
Oh, yes.
Not to harm you, baby.
Come on with it.
Not to make you cry. No, 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 no. No. You are my angel. Yes, you are. My yoki yoki. Yoki yoki. Spana no sa. Gia kutanda, my yoki yoki, yoki yoki, spana no sa, gia kutanda.
Come on with it already. I mean, spana no sa, my yoki yoki. I promise to love you, not to hurt you.
Yeah.
What a beautiful, beautiful song. Alright, guys, my yoki yoki. If only I had the vocals, but the only thing I can say is that, as always, thank you very much for joining us right here on The Morning Express. You have such a pure, amazing vocal ability. If only all artists would not use auto-tune like yourself and just sing and just reach for the heavens. Thank you very much, guys. As I always say, umuntu wako masebona mina uti my yoki yoki. As always, right here on The Morning Express, we bring you all the latest news and headlines, and obviously our special feature for the day. And today we're joined by VHUDIE, Mr. My Yoki Yoki, with that spicy, beautiful, soothing performance right here on the show. From myself and the team, it is goodbye. God bless. See you guys same time, same place, right here on Morning Express. See you guys same time. Let's go.